Hello everyone and welcome back to College Football 25. We are here in part 5, taking a look at the recruiting update. So we've already gotten locked out of a couple 3-star recruits here as they reach their top 3 schools, and we're not a part of it. But most of the 3 and 4 stars that we still have remaining here, we are 1st and 2nd. So we are in the lead here recruiting-wise for a lot of the high-end guys that we were looking at. So if we could get even half of those guys, dude, our outlook will look pretty freaking good. So, I mentioned at the end of last video that we didn't get a ton of sacks, but Marlon Dean was an absolute fiend in that Utah game. He picks up 3 sacks himself with 6 TFL, so he was pretty disruptive when Utah's offense was kind of struggling to get things going. And I edited out a lot of those plays because I tried to edit out the drives that don't really go anywhere, and they didn't go anywhere because of that man right there, who also gets National Defensive Player of the Week. Well deserved. But we're going to cut now into our next game here. I think we had a bye week. I might have edited it out because it was just recruiting stuff. So we're now here in our fourth game. I'm losing my mind. It's our 4th game against the Temple Owls out of the American Conference. So just our last out of conference game before we get into the conference play here, which should pick up, I guess. The Mountain West Conference isn't really a slouch, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's kind of funny to think that Temple isn't a slouch because they're also undefeated, but Lord can only imagine what their out-of-conference schedule even looks like. It's probably ridiculous. So, but we're going to get right into the action. It is 1st and 10 here to start off this game, and now Petra's going to hand it off to Faison with a wide open lane, just nothing but grass in front of him. Doesn't have a ton of speed to get away from the pressure here, which does get to him, but he does pick up the first and a lot more. So, in Temple territory now, we're going to go right across the middle to Micah Davis, our receiver, who's had the big game last week. He was our top receiver last week. Couldn't get into the end zone, and maybe we can this game, but it doesn't matter because Jalen Royals gets into the end zone. He's the first Aggie to touch the end zone turf in this game here. An amazing pass with 3 or 4 Owls in pursuit, but Jalen Royals still manages to get into the end zone. An absolute just dime from Spencer Petras, man. Just look at this floater. It's a floater right into Jalen Royals' hands, right into the end zone. Beautiful play, just dialed up. You love to see it, but that is all that's going to happen in the first quarter, man. This game is it's not very eventful. You could see the run times a little bit shorter of a video. Temple has been unable to really do much of anything with the ball. They've had it for almost about as much as we have. That dude right there looked like The Rock. Remember that picture of The Rock, where he's wearing that turtleneck? That kind of looked like him. Either way, Temple is going to try and cook something up on offense, but they lay up an absolute dime to the defense, and it is going the other way here. And again, we saw last week against Utah, we do not have the speed in our secondary to catch up to fast receivers and even complete pick sixes, as Temple was able to catch up to Drew, who had the interception. Beautiful play, by the way, just to cut off that route, get on the inside and get that pick. But we now have this ball going the other way, which you can't ask for too much more, man. And J.D. Drew, man, look at this play. Just absolute, just whoop. Pure athletic skill and ability, okay? I don't care what the speed looks like. So on 2nd and 10 out in Temple territory, we're going to dot this one up to the corner, and it's Brock Lane who's dragging the toes to keep it inbounds. He was open for about 7 years, and it took me forever to get that one over there. Fortunately, I did laser there. If I lobbed that one, it probably would have been about 5 yards out of bounds. But we do manage to keep it inbounds, as the booth is going to try and review this one again. And it looks like he had his feet in there, and they're going to give it to us. So 1st and goal now for the Aggies from the 5-yard line. We're going to give it to that man. You know who we're going to. And, of course, he gets shoved into the end zone. There was a few Owls that were there to make that play, and they just instead decided to push him into the end zone. And, hey, I'm not mad. I am more than not mad. I'm okay with that. And Rasul Faison gets his first touchdown of the day here in Philadelphia in the Link, which is gross that Temple still plays there. I think I've seen some stadium videos where they've kind of talked about, like all these teams who share stadiums, and what the future plan is. And I don't think Temple has any plans to move. I don't even know if their school can afford to get like a $100-something million stadium. And pay attention to this. There's a receiver for Temple here who's number 95. I don't think that was an O lineman who was just on the line, because you can see him when they're running. It might have been. There he is. He's lined up there. What is that, right tackle? So yeah, I think that was a lineman. He does catch another one in this game. That's where I was like, no, that's not a lineman. It's a receiver, right? I don't know, man. Temple's got some weird stuff here, and they're running their hurry up, which is so hard for us to guard. And they are moving downfield. They are already at our 30-yard line. It's going to be a handoff again, and he's going to get absolutely gobbled up, going absolutely nowhere. you cannot run on this team. You can probably throw on it pretty easily, as Utah showed last week, but you will not be able to run super easily. So on 2nd and 11, it is another handoff, but this time he does get to the edge and he cuts upfield. Beautiful spin move. Throws off like 2 or 3 Aggies. Makes him look stupid. He said, fine, you want to get me 3 yards in the backfield? Well, I'm going to make y'all look stupid. So it's another 1st and 10 for the Temple Owls, as this hurry up is just absolutely embarrassing our defense, and they're still going with the ground game. Imagine running hurry up just to keep running plays, like keep running offensive plays. You think you could just kind of huddle up for a second and kind of keep that momentum, but they're just running it in our faces, and they're going to switch out the running back because he's probably gassed, man, off of those last couple plays. But they're still going to go on the ground, and it works. It gets him in the end zone, and Temple is finally answering back to the Aggies here and getting in the end zone, and I guess the running back isn't very thrilled about it, as he's not going to do anything. He's just going to stand there. So, but Temple cuts the lead in half, and in a game that feels like it was all us for the first portion of it, we still have 2.5 minutes left in the first half, so this game, by all accounts, is definitely not over. Temple still has more than enough time to even out this game, and they were able to stop us on offense, so this is the prime opportunity they were looking for. So, on 1st and 10, dialing up something across the middle of the field, and they have flipped the field now, so Temple again within scoring range here, just inside the 30-yard line, and pressure's going to get to the quarterback, and it's going to get all the way home as he gets swallowed up by a few Aggies. He just took way too long to make a decision, so they're going to try and run hurry up again, and all the receivers got to run about 15, 20 yards back to the line of scrimmage, and there you see number 95 lined up again on the line, and he's going to catch a pass. See, I told you, man, he catches 2 of them. But Marlon Dean, who was the National Defensive Player of the Week, is down with an injury. That is bad. We're going to have to look at that one here. It's rough, but that is going to stop time for Temple just for a little bit. But on 3rd and 16, just a minute to go, we send pressure off the edge, and it gets picked up beautifully by Temple's running back. That was a beautiful block by him. But there is Marlon Dean. He has bruised ribs. He should be okay, but we're going to sub him out for now because we do not want to aggravate that injury. And Temple on 4th and 10 is going to have to bring out the kicking unit, and he nails that one. That was a long field goal. He absolutely polished, just like pierced it through the uprights. And that was kind of a long one, too, from the 35-yard line. So that would have been, what, like a 40, 45-yard kick? Decent kick, though. Just absolutely sailed it on through. We haven't seen a lot of beautiful kicks so far in this game, but there's a nice one. So Temple cuts the lead now to just 4, as our offense has been pretty anemic here in the first half. But we're still holding on to the 14-10 lead. And Rasul Faison is going to get the player spotlight in the first half, which I think is interesting, because I really don't feel like there was a whole lot offensively that we did, you know what I mean, to kind of earn those kind of honors here. But I guess he's got the rushing touchdown, so maybe that's what the game is looking at and focusing on. But I think some of our passing efforts were a little bit more impressive, and even Temple's passing efforts, they're not that bad. Or their running back, he had a much more impressive drive here, even though he didn't cap it off with the touchdown himself. But regardless, so we cut ahead to the end of the third quarter. Neither team is doing a whole lot here, but we are finally inside the red zone trying to score, and we give it to Rasul Faison out of the backfield, who hauls it in and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. So remember, he doesn't just run, he can also catch him, and he's reminding you he's got the ice in his veins. Doesn't matter the situation because he's got it covered. So his second touchdown of the game here is going to extend our lead to 11 points. So we're sitting in pretty good shape here, but remember, Temple's offense was rolling pretty easily towards the end of the first half, so we have to be a lot more careful on defense, but that is going to do it for the third quarter of play. Not much else is going to happen, as Temple's offense has kind of struggled out of the locker room, but we have a fourth quarter, baby. This game is definitely not away. Rasul Faison is having himself quite the day. It's kind of being just edited away just in the interest of time here, but he is picking up some very impressive plays. And now Briggs Jr. is getting in on the fun as he gets to the outside, misses some tackles, and gets brought out of bounds before getting a first down, or after getting the 1st and 10. And then next we're going to hand it off to Faison, who's back in, and he's going to pick up a 1st and 10. And now we have Briggs Jr. back in, so pay attention to that as he gets the ball, has a wide open lane, and is going towards the sticks, but gets brought down before. Nice tackle by that Temple player. And now 2nd and short, we're going to give it to Briggs Jr. again. I was going to try and go outside, but realized that the blocker that was in that hole, it was on the ground, so I just shot up the gap and right into the end zone, and now both of our running backs have now touched the end zone, as the score is going to be 28-10 pending the extra point. So in a game that seemed like Temple. I was trying to say Temple and Owl at the same time. In a game where it seems like Temple was kind of catching things up here, we seem to be in good shape. But we did miss the extra point, so the lead just stays at 27-10, and Temple's got still plenty of time to score, and especially when they do plays like this, man. Look at this, and a massive breakdown on defense again. It's like Utah all over again, man. And for some reason, Temple players don't like to celebrate that much, I guess. he wants to hear the own audience, a very small audience here in Lincoln Financial Field. I don't know if I would do that kind of celebration when I share a stadium with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, but hey, man, he's a sophomore. He's got years to learn, I guess. I don't know. But just an amazing play. Way to find the open receiver. Thanks to Temple's quarterback. I think his name's like Brock Forrest. It's something like that. Just pure Chad, just like frat boy name, just absolutely, and no disrespect to him, it's a great name. It's just funny to me that's his parents like, you know what, Brock Forrest, that's him. So we are able to get the first down that we need here to kind of burn most of the time left in this ball game. Temple is going to try and call him anyway, but it's a beautiful run by Breaks Jr. And on 4th and 10, don't look at this. Just don't look at it. Don't look at it. I had a good kick in the Utah game, and then this one happens. Just pretend that went in. Pretend that went in, and the score is now 30-10. Ah, jeez, man. Every kick I have is like Noah Ruggles in the Peach Bowl for Ohio State a couple of years ago. That's like that's every kick for me in this game, man. It's like that meme. It's been getting sent around. But there's 22 seconds left, and it's a 10-point game for Temple here. But that's not going to be enough time for them to do much of anything, and they wouldn't do anything with the football when they had it. So that is going to do it for the game here in Philadelphia. Hope everyone enjoyed that one. Rasul Faison put on a show for the Temple Owl fans, getting 118 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, thanks to his receiving touchdown as well. But Temple did have some impressive plays. We got to give credit where the credit is due here. Hey, hopefully they do good in the American Conference, because a 3-1 start to their year is not terrible. So, but we also now extend it to 3-1 after looking pretty freaking good in our out-of-conference schedule, managing to knock off a ranked opponent. So I don't expect our opponents to get a whole lot easier. I expect conference play to be a little bit more bitter, a little bit more back and forth. Something to point out here, dude. Temple outpassed us like crazy, bro. But they had 10 third downs. That's probably where they struggled a lot, bro. You're not going to win a lot of games if you have 10 third downs, especially if you're only converting on 3 of those. So, but they did outpass us like crazy, man. Yeah, Forrest Brock is his name. Not Brock Forrest. Forrest Brock. That's an even better name. Forrest Brock is amazing. So, Spencer Petras doesn't do a whole lot, but it's a decent game for him. He did throw a pick that I edited out. Rasul Faison again, we've already seen his stats. Briggs Jr. also had a pretty decent day at the office. Jalen Royals, our top receiver for the day here. We need to be careful, because if we don't really utilize him, he might transfer. So we gotta watch out for that. Make sure he's getting involved on the offense here. But moving ahead now, we're going to end this video here. Yeah, like I said, it's a little bit shorter one because the other games were a little bit more competitive. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode.